welcome to a Halloween version of percentage, decimals and fractions. We're going to talk a little bit today about how to convert a fraction to a percentage and how to convert a decimal to a percentage as well. Fractions to a percentage are really quite easy because in order to convert anything to a percentage, what you're saying is the whole of something is the same as 100% of it. It means all of it. So if I was to split this pizza into half here, then half of this pizza would be half of 100%, half of 100 is 50, so the percentage would be 50%. So if we're going to convert anything that's in a fraction form into a percentage, we just have to multiply that number by 100. We can see it's really easy here because here we get 100 divided by 100. The hundreds cancel and we get the 1800ths equals 18%. 9/50ths then, well, how could we get that into a percentage? Well, the easiest way would be to try and get 100 down here because we know that that gives us the percentage directly. So if we were to multiply top and bottom here by 2, we'd get 18/100ths. 9 2s are 18, 50 times 2 is 100. That will give us 18%. So whenever we have 100 down here, we've actually got our answer here on the fraction. So we know that 18/100ths is the same as 18%. 9/50ths is 18/100ths, so it's 18%. What about 13/150ths then? Well, we could do this in 2 steps, because if we divided, let's change it into 12. If we divided top and bottom here by 3, we'd get 50 down here, and 50 is really easy to change into 100. So 12 divided by 3 would give me 4 on the top. 150 divided by 3 would give me 50 on the bottom. And then I can just multiply top and bottom here by 2, because I would like hundredths down here. Then I get my answer directly. 4 times 2 is 8. 50 times 2 is 100. Equals 8%. So 12/150ths can be converted into 4/50ths by just changing the fraction, divide top and bottom by 3, and then get the 50 into 100 here by multiplying top and bottom by 2. You're just expanding or reducing your fractions to make it easier. Then if we had 36/300ths, what could we do then? Well, we could easily get 100 down here if we divided by 3. If we divide the bottom part of the fraction by 3, we divide the top part as well. 36 divided by 3, 3 goes into 3 one time, 6 goes into 3 2 times, and 300 divided by 3 is 100, which is 12%. Well, why do we bother with percentage at all? I mean, these are nice and easy calculations, and sometimes it's easier to go to percentage directly from the fraction. The reason that fractions are a little bit difficult to compare is if I'd like to know which fraction is bigger, 1/3 or 2/7, I can't really compare fractions when they've got a different number down here. You can't compare thirds to sevenths unless you change them into the same number, the same denominator. And we could do that by converting thirds into, multiply top and bottom by 7, we'd get that it equals 7/21ths, okay? So we could convert 1/3 into 21ths, and we could convert 2/7 by, instead of we multiplied the third by 7, because this was the fraction we're trying to compare it with. We can do the same thing with the 7th. If we multiply it by 3, the one that we're trying to compare with, we'd get 6/21ths here. 2 times 3 is 6, 7 times 3 is 21. Now we can compare these fractions. We can see that 7/21ths is larger than 6/21. So we can see now that 1/3 is larger than 2/7. But if we'd like to do that in a slightly different way, we could actually convert both of these fractions into their decimal equivalent and then look at the percentage. So that you can do this way as well, but let's convert a third into a decimal. Let's just divide 1 by 3. 3 goes into 1 0 times, 1 left over. 3 goes into 10 3 times, 1 left over. So we'd get 3, 3, 3, and it would go on forever. So 1/3 is equivalent to the decimal 0.333. 2/7, well, let's divide 2 into 7. 7 into 2 doesn't go, 2 left over. Decimal point in the same place. 7 into 20 goes 2 times, 6 left over. 7s into 60 go 8 times, 7 8s are 56, there'd be 4 left over. And 7s into 40, 5 times. So we can see here that this decimal number is larger than this. So we can see that 1/3 is larger than 2/7. So once we've converted the fraction into its decimal number, we can then easily convert it into its percentage by just multiplying by 100 to get it as a percentage. So 0.33 multiplied by 100, we've got 2 zeros here, so we move the decimal point 2 places, gives us 33.3 recurring percent. So any decimal can be converted to any percentage by just multiplying by 100. Same here, we could convert this to percentage by multiplying by 100. 0.285 times 100% equals 28.5%, which is approximately 29% to no decimal places. So if we want to round something off, look at the number after where we're rounding, and this is a 5, so the 8 goes up 1 to 29%. So rounding off. So it's just a different way of comparing fractions by having them in decimal form. Let's think about making a little table here then. How could we convert these fractions into the decimals into the percentage? Well, to go from fraction to decimal, we just do the division. And then to go from any decimal to any percentage, we multiply by 100. And let's try some of those. Here's a few simple ones. We have a quarter as a decimal. To get from a quarter to a decimal, we know that it's 0.25. If we've forgotten that, we can just divide 1 by 4. 4 goes into 1 0 time, that 1 moves over, decimal point in the same place. 4 goes into 10, 2 times, 4 2s are 8, 2 left over, add another decimal 0. 4 goes into 20, 5 times. So 1/4 is the same as the decimal 0.25. And to go from decimal to percentage, we multiply by 100. We move the decimal point 2 places, 1, 2, giving us 25%. If we were going to move from 0.2 directly to percentage, we'd move the decimal point 2 places, 1, 2. It means we'd end up with the decimal point here, a 0 there, so it would be 20%. For every 0 in the multiply sign, 100 has 2 zeros, we move the decimal point 2 places. How would we change this one then, 0.2, back into the fraction? How would we go backwards? We have to think of what the number 0.2 is. 0.2. This number is actually representing how many tenths we have. And here we have 2 tenths. So 0.2 is equivalent to the fraction 2 tenths. But 2 tenths has even number on the top and even number on the bottom. So we can simplify this fraction by dividing top and bottom by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the most simple form of this fraction, it is 2 tenths, but it's equivalent to the most simple form, which is 1/5. So we can go from a decimal back to a fraction by first putting the decimal in the percentage form, in the fraction form, and then simplify. So if we were going to go from 40% and we were going to go back from 40% and put it in its decimal, we'd have to do the opposite of what we did up here. So we'd have to divide by 100. 40 divided by 100, we'd move the decimal point 2 places back, we'd end up with the fraction 0.4. 0.4 is the same as 4/10. The number after the decimal means tenths. So we have 4/10, which can be simplified by dividing top and bottom by 2, giving us 2/5. So 0.4 is equivalent to the fraction 2/5. What about 2/3 then? Well, this is going to be one of our recurring fractions again. If we were to divide 2 by 3, 3 goes into 2, 0 times, 2 left over. 3's go into 20, 6 times. 6 3's are 18 and we had 20 here, so there'd be 2 left over. So now we're going to get the same thing over and over again. So we're going to get 0.666 recurring. It's going to go on and on forever. So 2/3 is equivalent to the decimal 0.666 recurring. To change the decimal to a percentage, we multiply by 100, so we get 66.6 recurring percentage. Let's round that off to nice whole percentage. We don't usually have a lot of decimal places left on percentage. So that's approximately the same as 67%. Look at the number after where we chop. We want no decimal points. The number after is a 6, so the 6 goes up one more to 7. So 66.6% is rounded off to 67%. So that's a little basic summary of how we can go from any fraction to any decimal to any percentage. How do we work something out then that's percentage change? Let's say we've got a pumpkin and Halloween is over, so it's being reduced in price. It was originally 18 kronas a kilo to buy a pumpkin, and now it's going to be reduced to 12 kronas a kilo. What is the percentage reduction? Well, there's a formula for percentage reduction or percentage change, and we can think of using the triangle that we're used to using for speed is distance over time. We can actually think of C3PO, the Star Wars guy, that the percentage change is equivalent to the change divided by the original. So C3PO, CPO. So percentage change, so the formula here would be percentage change is equivalent to, this is the one I want, the change in price divided by the original price. And I always can use this formula whenever I would like to find out a percentage change. In this case it's a percentage reduction, but it doesn't matter. So the change in percentage is the change in price. We went from 18 kronas a kilo to 12 kronas a kilo, divided by the original that we had, which was 18. 18 minus 12 is 6, so we get 6/18. We can simplify this by dividing top and bottom by 6, sorry, I'm going to go directly. 6's divided by 6 is 1, 18 divided by 6 is 3. So we know that the percentage change as a fraction is 1/3. To change it into percentage, we have to multiply by 100%. So 1/3 multiplied by 100, that would be the same as 33.3%. We know that 1/3 is 0.33333. We did that over there earlier. Multiplied by 100, so it's 33.3 recurring percent exactly, which is approximately, if we're going to round off here, 33. Look at the number after the 33. It's only a 3, so there's not going to be any change. 33% to 0 decimal places. So here we can see that we have reduced our price of our pumpkin by 33% when we reduced it from 18 kronas a kilo to 12 kronas a kilo. So percentage change is always the change in price divided by the original price times 100 to convert that fraction or decimal that we've worked out into a percentage. And that's how we would work out with basic decimals, percentage and fractions. And happy Halloween to you all, and I hope you had as much fun at school as we have today.